Hey, today I came across this post that somebody posted, and it was really something that's kind of been on my mind lately. Um, I'll go ahead and read it, and then I'll talk about like how it's been on my mind and where it's kind of coming from. But it says, "Stop asking who am I? Start asking, who do I become around different people? Because some people make you overthink every word. Others make you forget your insecurities exist. Some places drain your light. Others remind you that you've always had one. Not every version of you is your identity. Some are simply survival." And that really hit home for me because I started thinking about I go to some places and I feel like I can be completely myself and feel comfortable and not feel like I have to think about the words that are saying that could offend them, or um, maybe like I don't feel comfortable just being myself because they might just think I'm weird and they're not very accepting. So sometimes you do show up differently at places, and 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 it's because like it's a survival thing. Um, but I think there comes a point too where you have to let go of that, and I think that whenever you do the work, you start to be able to recognize, you know, um, process those things that come up, you know. So when you are maybe around specific people that you don't feel like you can be comfortable around, maybe really start to. I talked about this a little bit before, like do a body scan, like what's coming up. Um, it takes a lot of practice, I think, and I get it right sometimes, and I don't get it right all the time. But sometimes just being able to um, recognize where it's coming up in your where it's coming up in your body, sometimes we'll feel it like in our stomach and our chest. And then just really, if you've got time, like when you get home from that place, journal, like what is it about, what is it that is holding you back from freely being yourself when you're around certain people. And it's hard too because sometimes, well, yeah, like I said, it's hard because they don't always accept the version of you that has become better than the old version of you. Some people, they get used to people being the way they are, and what comes along with that sometimes is the boundaries, and just maybe just like coming with a comeback, like not necessarily like boom, right back at you, whatever, like, but a defense, like when you really start to know what you want, and why you like whatever you like, then you're able to just to be okay with that, and what they do with it is it's not on you, it's on them, like if they don't like that, you don't like something, or that you disagree with them. But sometimes people don't like other people speaking their mind. But at the end of the day, as long as it's kind and compassionate and done with no alternative motives, like I'm saying this because I want to get back at them or whatever, like, no, you're defending yourself, and you're there's nothing else to it. If you do feel like there's some anger coming up, like, maybe some emotions, maybe that's something that you could journal on, when you go home, just journal on like those feelings, like, you know, Uncle Bob was rude, and it made me mad, you know, and maybe at the time you did say something or you didn't want to say something, but how can you protect yourself from that again, you know? Or, you know, cousin Billy was teasing you at the family get together, and because you, whatever, um, and, you know, like, how did you respond to that situation? So just kind of evaluate, you know, like, what are the feelings that came up for you? Like, did you really feel kind of, I know I've been to places where I have nothing in common with anybody talking, and to me, it's just talking about lots of, to me, boring stuff to me. But to them, they, you know, they were having a great conversation. So I was really quiet. You know, I just sat there and was just like, you know, like, okay, I don't know where to jump in on any of these conversations. And so it's kind of one of those things too. You just maybe just be the observer, and you know, until you feel like it's a safe place for you, um, you know, or if you're ready to just be who you want to be, and get to that place where you're just like, I don't even care anymore, you know, I'm just going to be me, and if they don't like it, that's not my problem, you know. So I guess that's really my message for today, is just to lean into the places where you feel like you can absolutely be yourself and be accepted, and pay attention to those places where you're feeling like you can't be yourself. There's something behind that, and it would be good to really explore those things, and see what's happening there, and see what's kind of holding you back. The One of my mentors, she talks about this quote, and I'll have to find out where it is or who said it. I think she said it was in a book, so I'll have to find out for sure so I can give credit where credit's due. But basically, your circumstances and people will come into your life to show you where you're not free. And those places, it's very revealing. Like, it sometimes things have to happen just for you to see something, you know, people, and sometimes it'll happen in different ways, but, you know, the same thing, you know, like, it just kind of comes back, and it's like, okay, well, she didn't learn this way, so I'm gonna have to bring it back again, maybe in a different way, you know. And that goes with learning too. Like, sometimes we will learn things, we'll hear things the same thing over and over and over, and sometimes it just takes a different way of explaining it for us to really get it. So I just challenge you just to really be observant of how you show up in different places, and you know, really go deep in thinking about those places where you don't feel comfortable, and what's holding you back from being who you want to be. So, all right, well, y'all have a good day. Bye.